It's time for another Ask Me Anything video, and today we're answering a question from a survivor who wants to know how come some narcissists seem to depend on their supply working and paying bills, and others don't want to let their supply work and keep them home instead. Well, that's exactly what we're talking about today at queenbeing.com. So let's get started.
Closed captioning provided by Athena Moberg and CPTSDFoundation.org.
My name's Angie Atkinson, and on this channel I offer free daily video coaching to help you discover, understand, and overcome narcissistic abuse in toxic relationships. I like to call it toxic relationship rehab. So if that sounds good to you, hit that subscribe button and let's get going. This question is kind of loaded because the fact of the matter is that in both of these cases it's about control.
There are a few important things that we have to remember about narcissists and money. And one of the first things is that money in general is a way to control people. Of course, narcissists are very aware of this, and even those who have just a little bit of money might get a sense of power and domination over the people in their lives or people in general. Unfortunately, financial abuse is a common tactic that all types of abusers will use to control their victims. And while it's not exclusive to narcissists, it is often a factor in varying degrees when you get in relationships with them. The National Network to End Domestic Violence says that all forms of financial abuse might be subtle or overt, but in general include tactics to limit the partner's access to assets or conceal information and accessibility to the family finances. So it's right there with all the other forms of abuse, including emotional and physical abuse, as well as manipulation, intimidation, and threats. The National Network to End Domestic Violence says that these are all intentional tactics used by an abuser aimed at entrapping the partner in the relationship. And of course, depending on the situation, some abusers will begin to use this from day one in a relationship, while others will wait until the victim tries to leave before enacting financial control. Financial abuse is one of the most powerful ways to keep a survivor trapped in an abusive relationship with a narcissist. It makes it very difficult to stay safe if you've already left the abuser, and of course it makes it far less likely that you'll leave in the first place. In fact, surveys of survivors indicate that their finances are one of the top reasons that they stay or return to an abusive relationship. In one study, researchers found that 98% of abusive relationships involves some kind of financial abuse. This is especially true when children are involved, and many people are more likely to tolerate abuse for the sake of the children. Another important thing to note is that financial abuse is not socioeconomically, educationally, or racially exclusive. It happens across the board. So what this comes down to is that narcissists, depending on their level of narcissism and their type of narcissism, will control you in different ways with money. So the more cerebral types tend to be better about getting a job, keeping a job, whereas other types of narcissists might be more impulsive and lack self-control. Of course, these traits aren't very good for the workplace. These are the narcissists who tend to sort of mooch off their supply, always saying they're close to getting a big job or getting a lot of money for whatever reason, but ending up living off of the victim's money.
So when we're talking about the narcissist who wants the person to stay home and doesn't want to let them out of the house, wants to control all the money and control everything, we're probably talking about a more driven type of person, but also a person who is perhaps even in more control than you might think.
Many people with narcissistic personality disorder are very hard workers because, for one thing, they always want to work on increasing their self-esteem, and so they do set goals and often meet them, at least when it comes to outside of intimate relationships. Number two, since they're not good at sustaining these relationships, these intimate relationships, they often pour all of their energy into their job, especially if they don't have other interests or hobbies, which many don't. And of course, number three, narcissists tend to believe that getting a promotion or making more money will help them feel like they're actually worth something. These are the narcissists who tend to be more high performance. They tend to earn a lot of money or decent money and have success in many areas of their life. Of course, this doesn't mean that they won't try to also take what you have, because they will. They think whatever you have also belongs to them. But for this type of narcissist, typically their charming exterior, their charming personality, and their ability to lie and or exaggerate their accomplishments leads to them getting a decent job and holding it. Of course, they get a lot of narcissistic supply from any success they get at work. With this type of narcissist, just like with other types of narcissistic abuse like gaslighting, financial abuse will often begin very subtly at first, and to the victim, it might even feel like love or concern or being taken care of, which is something that a lot of victims report they didn't really experience in the past. So it feels good to them. Often, the abuser will offer to handle the finances at first, sometimes even giving the victim an allowance to sort of take care of their needs. Again, at first, the victim feels a big sense of relief. They don't have to deal with the money right now, and maybe they think they can trust their partner. After all, they're in love, and maybe they just don't want to deal with the stress of it all. But of course, this turns dark when typically the narcissist begins to give the victim less and less money for their quote-unquote allowance, and the narcissist becomes increasingly controlling of how it's spent. Then, when the victim tries to take control of their own money, they discover that their money has been moved, or they no longer have access to their family money. This is just one more way that the narcissist is controlling this victim. Often, they won't allow the victim to get a job outside the house, and if they do attempt to get a job, the narcissist will sabotage their job opportunities, or if they have a job, the narcissist will sabotage that by harassing or stalking you at work. Some victims find that they actually lose their job as a result of this. Again, the family money is controlled by the narcissist, and the victim has no access to their own bank account. The victim won't be included in financial decisions, including banking and investments. They're not allowed or encouraged to get a job, to seek job training, or any other sort of school or training opportunities. Again, it's all about control.
And then when we're talking about the less productive narcissist who sits around, does nothing, expects you to pay for all the bills and pay for all the things, and still tries to control you, well, that's a whole other thing. Let's dig into this a little, shall we?
It's important to note here that, in general, this quality isn't just a narcissistic quality, because we do have a portion of our society who seems to not want to work at all. With that being said, some narcissists seem to want to find someone to support them financially or otherwise. This is regardless of whether they're male or female. In this case, we're talking about the type of narcissist you might want to call a parasite. As far as work where they would earn a paycheck, well, it's limited if it happens at all, and they are famous for job hopping. In fact, some people joke that it should be listed as one of their many areas of expertise. These narcissists tend to become bored with any type of job or any type of person, friendship, relationship, anything. They don't really even know how to hold on for very long. They don't seem to think they have to work. If they can't get a job with a title and a big salary, which of course they're not willing to work for, well then they generally don't want to work. Some narcissists just won't work at all. Whether they're capable or not is irrelevant here. They just feel entitled to someone else's money. Some can't be employed because they've built their entire lives on a lie. They keep this hidden, of course, so they can extract money from other people. But if you look at their histories, their relationships, their work histories, you will see a pattern. Many will feel like other people have let them down, as in not giving them enough praise or recognition or attention, or they've suffered some kind of narcissistic injury, and this makes them think that their coworkers and or bosses are, just trash, and in response they might act out and cause chaos, and then they need to move on. They may, like I said, either job hop or just choose to mooch off of their victim. In this case, you might have found yourself having to write bad checks or commit financial fraud just to stay above water. Or maybe your abuser ran up large debts in your name and you have no say-so about it. You might not even be aware of it at first. In many cases, the narcissist will refuse to work and force you to support them. And in some of those cases, they don't even make it easy for you to work by taking care of the kids or other household responsibilities. You might be paying for daycare while your narcissist sits at home and does nothing. Maybe your narcissist has helped to ruin your credit score, or maybe you've been forced to skip paying bills in order to indulge some desire of the narcissist. Maybe the narcissist has even gone so far as to steal your identity, your property, or your inheritance. Perhaps you've been forced to give up any public benefits you had, or you've been accused of cheating the system because of the narcissist. Maybe you've been struggling financially and your ex, or soon-to-be ex, just won't pay child support. Maybe the narcissist tells you that you're not pulling your weight around here. Even if you're working full-time and taking care of the house, the kids, the yard, and everything else, there's still just something you're not getting done to their satisfaction. If you want to learn how you can deal with financial abuse from a narcissist, be sure to take a look at the videos I'm leaving for you in a playlist right here.
All right, now this brings me to the question of the day. And the question of the day is, have you dealt with a narcissist who either makes you stay at home and won't give you any money, or who refuses to work and absolutely tries to control your money anyway? Share your thoughts, share your ideas, share your experiences in the comment section below, and let's talk about it. If you want to learn more, make sure you take a look at the video I'm leaving for you right there, and it will give you so much more information about this. Before I go, I want to offer a quick shout out and a big thank you to all of my channel members, those people who support me through the YouTube membership program. You are awesome and amazing, and I'm so grateful for you. I'm going to show you their names right here. And I just want to say again a big thank you to each and every one of you. With your help, I'm able to continue to provide free daily video coaching, free resources at queenbeing.com, free videos like this one to help people get through the hard times, discover, understand, and overcome narcissistic abuse in toxic relationships, and to evolve to the next level of their life. Thank you so much. Sincerely, it means the world to me, and it is my mission in life. Thank you.
Again, I just want to say to my inner circle, thank you so much for hitting that join button. It really does mean a lot to me to know that you're supporting me. Thanks again from the bottom of my heart.
And to you who's watching my video right now, thank you. Thank you for being here. Thank you for liking, commenting, sharing my video. It helps me. Every action helps me to do just a little more for this community, and it means everything to me. Again, thanks so much. As always, thank you so much for being a part of my day and a part of my life. And hey, thanks for letting me be a part of yours. It really does mean a lot to me. Make sure you take a look at the videos I'm leaving for you right there and right there. And while you're here, hit that subscribe button right over there so we can stay connected and continue on this healing journey together. I'll see you soon.